Putting in the good stuff, put it in the good stuff. Put it in the good stuff in my motorcycle. Warning. Ownership of this motorcycle can and will lead to the following symptoms: incomprehensible facial expressions, lack of bladder control, anal incontinence, and hooliganistic tendencies. You have been warned. One of these is not like the others. It's me again, Richard FLD. And as you could probably tell, there's something wrong with this picture. And by wrong, I mean delightfully right. Hello guys, how you doing? Richard FLD here on a beautiful fucking day. It's 28 degrees, sun shining, and I'm on dun dun dun, a Honda XR650R. So I used to have an old XR400, which I tuned the motherfucking bollocks off. And don't get me wrong, it was a fantastical bike, but it wasn't an XR650R. And I've wanted one for so long. In fact, to be honest, I actually wanted one. I actually wanted an XR650R before I got my 400R. It's that they don't come up very often in here in the UK. And the other thing is, when they do, they tend to be a bit pricey. And not just that, decent ones in good condition are even harder to find, because a lot of them have been supermotoed badly. Like, they just look like, some of them just look like they've crashed through a fucking eBay store, just like cheap Chinese fucking parts all over them. Just that, no, just no. So I've spent the last god knows how many years looking for a standard one, and I've missed a couple of opportunities to get a couple of nice ones actually, purely just because I didn't have the money there, because nice ones fetch a freaking premium. Well, I just need to reset my fuel gauge down here. There we go, 000. So, here we are on a beautiful day on an XR650R. What more could you want from life? So this is a review more than anything. I haven't ridden it that much. I'll do a sort of quick review today, then I'll do a more in-depth one once I've got a few more miles on it. But at the minute I'm just sort of just checking the bike out, and just, it seems solid. The only thing that was missing are the original handguards, which I was going to put some Ace Abyss Barkbusters or whatever they are on there anyway. So yeah, it's a 2001, let's get to the details. 2001 XR650R, about 8,000 miles, it's got like 1,400 kilometers on it. Damn those foreign units. Oof. Yeah, so yeah, it's got about 8,000 miles on it, which for 2001 is pretty good. front of it. But yeah, it's fairly low miles, it's been well looked after, everything's pretty much standard on it. It's still got all the standard bits and bobs like chain guards and that. It's the UK spec model, so it's got speedo even though it's in kilometers per hour. Go figure. It's got the Honda switchgear, it's got a crappy headlight, it's got crappy tail light, it's got crappy indicators. But the rest of the bike is fucking awesome. Let's get some twisties on the go. I've currently got a pair of Avon Distanzias on the bike. I do want to go for setting knobblies eventually, but yeah, they're on the standard rims. A lot of people put the XL Talons on. These are just on standard rims, and I must say the handling is superb and the balance of the bike is just incredible. I mean, you can give sport bikes a run for their money with this thing and the twisties. The throttle delivery, to be honest, the throttle on this is quite snatchy off idle. That first little crack off closed is quite snatchy. It's kind of off or on, which leads to some kind of interesting. I've got flies coming in my helmet. Leads to some interesting moments when you're trying to roll on the throttle. Being such a well balanced bike, the front, you can get the front up in more or less any gear. I mean, I'm quite a heavy rider. I'm currently about 116, 117 kilograms, which is about 250 pounds. Somewhere in the 18 stone or 18 stone dead on, somewhere around there. And I can loft the front wheel in third and fourth. Fourth needs a bit of a tug or just a little bump or something, but you can easily loft that front wheel. Now, for you American people, especially Californians, your bikes will be quite corked up from standard, which means modifying the airbox, taking some little rubbers out, replacing the carb rubbers for the more de-restricted open flow, new headers and a free flowing exhaust. Take the blocked up spark arrestor that you guys have out, and that'll rejet, and that'll give you some serious more poke. If you've got a choked up XR and you can't, like, you'll know because you won't be able to like poke the wheel up in second and third a lot of the time. That's all you need to do is airbox, carb rubber mounts, new headers, jets. I think if you open your carb up, I think you're supposed to have a 68S idle jet and somewhere around a 160, mid 160s, depending on your altitude and your temperature. In the 160s for a jet, I think normally they're like 120 or 130 when they're choked up, which is fucking pants. That was third gear just then, doing about 40-50 mile an hour, and you could just put, even me, I'm a fat fucker, and even I can bring the front up in third gear. This bike is a fucking animal. Now, I don't know if this bike has had any mods done to it. It certainly feels like it's got poke. The whole rev range, it just pulls. It just pulls. And it's just incredible. Oh crap, that looks like rain. Now I will say the seat isn't the most comfortable seat in the world. But there are solutions for that. Yeah, there are a lot of options. A lot of people, you can just take off the seat covering and you can actually get these gel inserts, which a lot of people put in. Or you can just buy a whole new comfort seat. Which I'm probably going to go down that road. The tank itself, I think it's something like a 10-litre tank as standard. Again, upgradable. The likes of IMS, Clark, Ace Abyss, they all do varying upgrades. The one I'm looking at is I think Clark and IMS both do a 4.6 or a 4.3 gallon. Oh. But yeah, fucking hell. This is a bike that just wants you to get hold of its neck and just fucking smash it against the fucking wall. It's a fucking brawler. This ain't no fucking commuter bike. It's just a pure, unadulterated fun machine. I'm running stock gearing on mine, and tested on a private airfield. It's good for over 100. So if you want a bike where you can get on the highway and ride, then do some trails and ride back, this will be more than happy to do that. You can easily sit at 60-70 mile an hour, no problem. And the brakes are actually pretty fucking good. I remember my XR400, the brakes are absolutely dreadful. Stick some braided lines on and some uprated pads, this thing will stop quicker than a... I don't know, I don't really have a metaphor for stopping. But I've ridden quite a lot of bikes. Well, not a huge amount, but enough to know what the score is. And I've ridden quite a lot of litre bikes and bigger. But nothing compares to the absolute insanity. I'm not talking necessarily about outright speed or acceleration, but to be honest, you do not need you'd be a lunatic to want more speed and acceleration out of one of these. But having said that, once you've ridden one for a while, it keeps you wanting more, but not necessarily performance wise. It just leaves you wanting more in terms of pushing the boundaries of the bike. It inspires confidence, and it just inspires just wants you to push it. It just constantly, it's got a voice, and it's just telling you, go on, go on, go on, go on, more, and it will quite happily do more. You'd have to be a fucking good rider to get the most out of one of these machines. Having said that though, it's quite an easy bike to ride. Well, I have ridden Enduros before, so it's not a completely new concept for me. But if you're coming from a street bike or a sport bike, yeah, there'll definitely be a learning curve, and I wouldn't necessarily recommend this bike for beginners because it is quite snatchy. And these Enduros, they need to be pushed. You've got to have that bit in your head where on a sport bike you're sort of thinking, oh shit. On these it's like more. It's literally grabbing them by the scruff of the neck. And it's not a case of will you do it or if you will do it, it's a case of you fucking will do it. In terms of suspension, actually, the 400 was severely lacking, and I will say that it's not exactly the best suspension in the world. It's quite plush and it's quite soft, but I wouldn't say it's bad. For a lighter rider it would more than be adequate, but if you're more than, I'd say, I don't know, 80 or 90 kilograms, you definitely want to consider maybe if you're any heavier than, I'd say, 80 or 90 kilograms, yeah, you'll definitely want at least some stiffer forks in the front, maybe revalving. The back shock is not that bad. You might get away with preload, but again, you're better off sending it away and get it revalved and sprung. Because I did that with my 400, and the difference it made, it transformed the bike. It was a completely different animal after I got the suspension done for my weight. But yeah, the XR650R, it's certainly not for the faintest of hearts. It's not completely mental, but yeah, it's still a fairly serious bike. Oh yeah, a few pussies out there that are, I don't know what it is these days, people don't want to touch a bike with a kickstart. This has nothing apart from the headlight, the indicators, the horn, which are all run off the stator. There's no battery. Yeah, there's nothing electric on this bike, so it's kickstart only, but it's got an automatic decompressor, so as long as your bike is, you know, in tune and that, it only takes you 1 or 2 kicks to start them. So yeah, I was doing my little review earlier this morning. Bloody massive thunderstorm come over, so I had to hightail it back home, wait for the storm to pass. My intention was to go to the beach. It's just a fair way, and I have a sneaking suspicion I'm going to have a pretty sore ass. But I want to see what this thing's all about. Oh, pardon me. I will say one thing, it is friggin' annoying not having a 6th gear. That's possibly my own criticism about this bike. But it's kind of nice, I don't know, 1 through 5 is actually kind of nice. It's quite a smooth shifting gearbox actually. So that's not too bad. 3.71 litres to do about 42 miles on 3.71 litres. Which ain't too bad. I reckon this will probably do, to be on the safe side, I'd probably say this will do 70 to 80 miles to a tank. So that's actually not too bad. And as for the comfort, well, I've done 40 odd miles and yeah, my arse is a little bit sore. I reckon it'll be killing me when I get home, but it's not too bad at the minute. It's not exactly what you'd call super comfortable or anything, but at the moment it's bearable. If I had any major complaint actually, obviously, you know, you've got no fairings on this, so my shoulder is giving me a bit of jip, my right shoulder on my back, purely from the fucking wind resistance. I'd probably say that's the only issue I have at the minute, but my shoulder wasn't particularly great in the first place. But you do get blown about a little bit. Oh. So yeah, I've just been to the beach and back. I have to say my arse is starting to feel a bit sore. I've done about, I guess I've probably done about 80 miles. And it's bearable, you know, it's not too bad. I mean, it does just eat the miles, this thing, especially on twisty little back roads, but it's not really a motorway mile muncher. I mean, you can, but this is more at home in the twisties. Roads like this, or fast, you know, sort of twisty roads, it just loves to be sort of thrown around. Show it some corners and it just performs. Oh, my bum is definitely hurting now. Oh. So there she is in all her glory. XR650R. mostly standard. Like I say, it's missing the original handguards. But no, everything else is pretty sorted. Original rims. Got the Avon Distanzias on there, which aren't too bad. These ones are getting a bit low. They're a bit squared off in the middle. She's a beauty. There was a couple come up, really nice ones. There's one immaculate one come up with about 400 miles on it. Oh, I wanted it so bad, but it had just been kept in a garage. Someone had obviously just taken it out a couple of times and just never used it. But I don't think, I'd rather have something with a couple of little scrapes on. Although this is in very good condition, there are a few little dings here and there, as to be expected for a 2001 bike. But yeah, I couldn't bear taking an immaculate one out. I'd cry. The first time it got a stone chip or something, I'd be in tears. So, but yeah, there she is, guys. As I say, I've wanted this bike for well, too long. Probably about well over 10 years, probably about 12 years I've wanted one of these. And to finally have one, I'm just so happy. It's just everything I wished it would be and more. You know, it's just, the 400 was a great bike, but the 400 is not even close in terms of just the sheer awesomeness of this thing. It's just a no frills bike. It doesn't fuck around. You know, it's got an engine in the middle, it's got a wheel at the front, wheel at the back, and handlebars on the top. There's nothing, you don't need anything else to have fun. It's just a hell of a bike. And the power delivery, I mean, yeah, there's more powerful bikes, but the way this delivers the power, it's just linear, it just goes. You know, there's no sort of winding it on, thinking, come on, brah, then it goes. It just grunts. The grunt of this thing is just godly. But yeah, if anyone wants to know any more, or you know, wants to ask any questions, just pop them in the comments. I will be doing a few modifications to this. I think first, I was going to do a tank mod, but actually, where I've been today, up to the coast, it's probably the furthest I'm going to take this, and I can get there and back probably on a tank. I could easily get there and back on a tank, so that's the furthest I'm ever going to go. So the stock tank for me is fine. Next thing I'm definitely going to get is a seat. Of course, that is a bit of a arse breaker. It's not as bad as a lot. Everyone's arse is different at the end of the day, and some people will probably do 20 miles and be fucked. But other people like me, I've just done 80 miles, and yeah, it's starting to get a little bit tetchy. That's not too bad. I keep saying I'd like to put hot cams and a pumper carb on it, which I might do. I don't know, actually, I don't know about the hot cams, but a pumper carb is probably on the cards. I reckon, yeah, pumper carb is going to be on there at some point. Seat. It's got a stock exhaust on, even though it's, you know, it's very loud. So I think I'm probably going to stick with the stock exhaust. It depends though. I might, if I put a pumper carb on it, I might put another set of headers on, and I might just get a full system when I do that. But yeah, apart from that, seat, carb, maybe exhaust, and a set of knobblies. Oh, that's my dream bike. Oh, she's a beauty. Yeah, anyway guys, hope you enjoyed my little review and ride today of the XR650R. I'm still going to keep my Honda XR1000V Varadero. It's just, the Varadero is such a heavy, cumbersome thing to keep pulling out just to go for a little ride, and I'm getting rid of my, I've got a Pajero, my truck. I'm getting rid of that soon, so there's 2 bikes will be my only sort of personal forms of transport. So I've got this one just hooning about, and my Varadero. I should have been in Scotland on my Varadero this weekend, but it's terrible weather up there. But hopefully in the next month I'm hoping on doing a little tour on that, so stay tuned for that. So over and out, guys. I will catch you later. Bye bye. Oh yeah, for some reason I've lost a friggin' indicator. It's a race bike. It sheds weight to keep itself light. I don't know what it is. People moan about it, but there's just something about kick-starting a bike that is so fucking satisfying. Oh no, kickstarts are so, you know, inconvenient. Not. Ah, oh, what a lovely day. What a lovely day.